because here I am, a 50-year-old guy at a camp, and I heard nothing but teenage and young adults.
No.
I was a grandpa.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gen X Grit, veteran-owned business built different. As you can see, this time around, we are via Zoom. We finally got someone to come in through the web, coming in all the way from Hammond, Indiana, to tell his amazing story. Friend of mine, we go way back, way back when he had hair. Don't, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Can't remember
We,
I had hair.
it's all here now. He did his days on cross country. He did his. Was you in track?
Yes, I was, sir.
You did a little bit of track. That's right.
Yeah.
From his days to cross country and track, and now, like I said, he's got an amazing story to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, class of '89, Morton Governor, soon to have the Hammond Bears in his backyard. I don't know how he feels about that. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. The jury's still out. Bill Laramie. Bill, how's it going?
Peace. I'm good, good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I mean, granted, we normally talk about veteran-owned business, but we also on here talk about special interest, and your story is very heartwarming, and I really want to get into it. Well, first, just a little bit of a background of yourself so people know who you are.
Oh, as you mentioned, from Hammond, class of '89, Morton. Unfortunately, still in Hammond, but soon to be moving. So
Oh,
bears are bears are coming in, and I'm getting out of here. You know my love for the Bears.
so much you got to move.
um, no, as you said, I don't know where you want me to begin with the journey, but yeah, you and I met back in the old Morton Halls and on the cross country track field. Um, as you know, graduated '89 and did a few things here and there. Got married at the age of 30. Had a couple of kids with her name Julie. Have two amazing daughters out of that relationship. Got my degree from Purdue. Uh, well, we used to call it Calumet back then,
New Cal. Yep.
but now it's Northwest.
Oh, wow.
Got my
Okay.
yeah. Uh, so got my accounting degree. Got a job at the steel mill. At the time, it was called ArcelorMittal. I mean, you and I can probably sit here for an hour and go through all the names that used to be, but current, current,
Inland.
currently Cleveland Cliffs.
Okay.
I was there for almost 14 years until COVID hit. So kind of bounced around back and forth, doing some remote work, and with COVID, not really many opportunities, but finally at a company, OSI, out of Aurora. They're a food manufacturing, one of the top food manufacturers in the country. They are a lead supplier of the McDonald's beef patties, so that tells you how solid of a company it is. um, yeah. Um, so that's just a quick brief of my
Okay.
background. So,
That's a good brief. Like I said, we've known each other forever. Not even before Morton, when we traveled the halls of Scott,
no, I did go to
Scorpion.
Scott. I wasn't a Scorpion.
Thought you
I
did
was,
go there.
no, I'm a Sienna Knight, baby.
You snuck the halls a couple times. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, well that's fair. That's fair. It's like we've done a lot. We've done running. We've 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 also been on bowling leagues, bowling teams. If anybody has ever been on the bowling league with Bill, then you will understand when I say the word cinnamon.
Cinnamon, cinnamon, cinnamon. You're the one that you're the one that started that. You dared me if I got a turkey that I had to go dance on that pole. One thing led to another.
It's funny, well spent. But yeah,
Okay.
it's been a great ride, and like I said, done a lot of amazing things. But the one thing I really want to touch on, what you have been doing as of late in this, and how I started off the broadcast, how you and I were both on cross country, we're both on track, and you have been keeping this run thing. If I'm not mistaken, you took a break at one point, but you really got back into it.
Yeah, it was a long break, very long break. But yeah, I mean, after high school, I ended up being recruited to Franklin College, that's south of Indianapolis, to come play golf for them.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, oh, cool, because I played golf in high school. I was, decent. I wasn't a PGA caliber, but good enough to go play college. So I went down there only to find out that it was a 2 day tryout to make the team. And they were only
Mhm.
taking the top 12 scores. And lo and behold, I placed 13th, missed it by one stroke. So I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do? Because I'm not getting this scholarship. And
Right.
like so my roommate, he was from Gary Wart. He's down there as a cross country team, and he said, "Hey, we got a couple, spots on our team." I'm like, "Well, I really didn't run all summer because I was focusing on my golf game." So I went and talked to the cross country coach, and he gave me basically 2 weeks to getting back into running shape and come up with the time to make the team, and I ended up doing it. I mean, or when you're 18, 19, that's not an issue, compared
Not a
to.
thing.
So and so made that and ran 1 year of college cross country. Then, you know, the school wasn't really what I thought it was going to be, so I came back home and just kind of, life took me in a different direction. So
Right.
then and then so um, so that was probably the last time I did any serious competitive running until about 6 years ago. But and that journey came about because I ended up in my late 20s, found out that I had Usher syndrome, which is a genetic disease that causes hearing and vision loss. I mean,
Mhm.
I was, as you know, I grew up. I wore hearing aids, and I was very active as a teenager,
Right.
young kid. So I mean, I'd never thought anything about my vision being any kind of an issue. But then I started having trouble seeing at nighttime in my late 20s. I'm like, hey, this is not right. I'm still, like, what's going on? And they ended up doing, I mean, you're talking in the 90s, medical technology wasn't, when I was born
Wasn't even
compared to what,
close, honestly. Yeah,
yeah,
still building, still building.
yeah. So the doctor, they recommended me go up to University of Illinois, Chicago for some more testing. And Dr. Fishman, his name, came back and said, yeah, you have the characteristic of Usher syndrome, I'm like, so that hit me pretty hard. So it was basically saying, I'm going to be blind at some point in time, you know.
Mm.
So, I mean, I went, okay, whatever, but I still, like, I was just more cautious of what was going on with myself, so I had to be, but I still, went back to school, got married, got kids, and it wasn't
Lived a
until my
normal life.
yeah, I lived a normal life. I couldn't drive at night. I was very limited during my daytime driving. I only drove because basically what Usher syndrome is my peripheral vision was shrinking. What was going on is like most people's, when their rods fire off, they have the gene to reproduce. Well, my gene wasn't there to reproduce, so when my rod fires off, I'm done. It's dead. I don't. It doesn't reproduce. So, I mean, you got millions and millions of rods in your eyeball, so most people don't know. But mine just kept field of vision just kept shrinking and shrinking. So, but it wasn't until after my divorce I kind of went down a little dark road, depression.
Hmm.
One of my good childhood friends, God rest his soul, he passed away. Keith Wooden. I don't know if you remember him or not, but
think I do.
Yeah. Uh, he had said something to me because, hey, I know one of your goals back when you're in high school and stuff like that was to qualify for the Boston Marathon, whatever. And I knew I couldn't get the time because, obviously in high standards, and they still is high standard. But
Yeah.
he goes, but hey, they have a para division. I'm like, what? He goes, look into it. I kind of did some research and I'm like looking at it and go, I mean, I still have some vision. I mean, I think I can get this qualifying time to run Boston as a para athlete. So I, slowly but surely, when you're 50 years old and haven't exercised since you were 22,
Hmm.
you you learn a lot about how your muscles in your body that you didn't know can hurt.
Right.
so so slowly but surely, I started getting back into shape. And my first attempt to qualify, I missed it by 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm on
Mm.
the right path. I'm on the right path. I'm okay. I mean, you know didn't have expectations, just wanted to see where I was at. And I'm like, oh, 10 minutes. So it gave me the motivation to, get back out there and train a little bit harder. And the following spring, was it spring? No, it was spring. I did the race the first time. That following fall, I went out to a place up in Wisconsin, just outside of, Wisconsin Dells. Beautiful area to run a marathon, cool fall weather, and crushed it. I just got my qualifying time, you know, submitted my time in to the committee, got accepted. Boom, here I am. I'm set to go, Boston 2020. And then
Hmm.
no, there's other things in the world. They wanted the COVID come around,
Yeah.
so
Hmm.
so that put a damper in it. But I finally got to run Boston in the fall of 21. So that was an, a, a lifetime experience I will never forget. I mean, it's everything people say it is, and
Oh,
plus
I
some.
believe it.
Uh, I mean, I ran it and I wasn't worried about my time. I stopped and I had beers with a fan. I there was kids. I mean, that doesn't surprise you. I know that, but there was there was kids on the sideline jumping on these little trampolines. I'm like, hey, can I jump? And they're like, hey, I'm jumping with kids. Just
You're
dancing
having
with.
fun. You're having a great time being out there.
Yeah,
Why not?
yeah, yeah. You train your ass off to get there, and then
Exactly.
but so, but that's where the journey began, and it doesn't end there. So, I
No,
think,
you've been building since then quite well, not just from being a marathoner, a runner, but now you're more a triathlete.
that
Yeah,
is correct.
triathlete. What would you call? What would be the good technical term? Para-triathlete because of
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but para athlete, para
para-athlete.
triathlon. Yeah. So I mean, there's really no. Uh, so during the downtime with COVID, it's like, okay, I can run. I can only do so much running, and you know, get bored. The person that was my guy, I usually have a runner when I do like long, like
Right.
running in areas that I'm not familiar with, just kind of be my eyes and say, hey, sidewalk crack, or just they kind of give me verbal cues as to what I can't, because if I look straight ahead, most people can see basically down and at their feet. I basically, it's for me, it's like holding two toilet paper rolls to your eyeball. That's all I can see, just straight forward. So
Hmm.
so the person I was running with, Amanda King, love, uh, she said something about, hey, they're gonna do Leon's triathlon here, what's hosted in Hammond. I know all about that, but I was like, I've always they used to have it back in the days where we used to go down Klein Avenue and get off at the 169 15th Avenue, go over the bridge and go back and climb back to Wolf Lake Park, whatever.
Right.
And I remember the kids, 7, 8 years old, when my house backyard was Klein Avenue, I would climb up and sit on the railing and watch these, you know, and I joked around with my dad saying, I'm going to win this race one day. My dad laughed at me like, yeah, right. Okay. So I was like, you know what? I've always said I was going to win this race. So like, all right, let's do this. So got in the pool, started trying to, I figured, why not suck at, why I suck at one, why not suck at three sports at one time, so
Hey, but the
that's
thing,
my,
But the thing is, you're out there, you're doing it. I mean, you say,
Eh,
you can suck at all three, but you're out
nah.
there proving it, making a difference. And I know I've seen a couple pictures of you in the past, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you're running with someone, that person that's paired up with you, I believe you normally would wear a yellow jersey or something to that degree where they were wearing something else, or was it vice versa?
It's more they wear like a high visibility color, a bright yellow, a bright
O-
orange, something for me to be able to focus on, you know.
Okay.
So kind of stand out away from, stand up from everybody else. And plus, I also wear a shirt that says, put says blind runner, so people have an idea, if I bump into them accidentally,
Right.
so one of my favorite stories about that was doing a hot chocolate 15K in Chicago one year, and it's a big crowd. There's 50,000 people running, and so it's congested. And I kind of like tripped this one girl in front of me, and she turned around and she looked at me and she's like, "If you're blind, you shouldn't be out here running." And I was like, I'm like, let it go, like whatever, it's like,
Mhm.
and it's 15K, so it's 9.3 miles, and about mile four, we kind of caught up to her and she was walking, and I just my smart ass is like, if you can't run the full thing, you shouldn't be on.
And
And
there's the
my
Gen
guy,
X region right there.
and then my guy with me is like, damn, you're cold. I was like, karma bites
Sure.
you in the ass.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so I did some, swimming in the pool and, biking, stuff like that. And the day before the race in Hammond, we were supposed to do, they had like called open water swim practice or whatever. And I'd done where got on the boat, jumped into a lake and, swam around, but nothing competitive. So me and my guy were trying to figure, Amanda, we're trying to figure out, okay, how's this going to work? When we're in the water, how am I going to control it? You know, when you're swimming, because you can't, when you're definitely in the water, you're not gonna be able to see anything.
Yeah.
So we kind of went in the water and we started swimming. We got about 25 yards, and I completely freaked out. I was like,
Mm.
oh, and like I was having panic attack, and she got me back to shore. And I was like, oh, well, we ain't doing, that's not a good idea. We ain't doing this. And there's an organization that was there called Dare to Try. They're a non-for-profit based out of Chicago. They're an organization that helps people with disabilities, vision impairments, amputees, MS. I mean, if you have a
Okay.
they their main goal is your disability, but we're gonna find a way to get you across that finish line. I mean, they have all kinds of equipment to suit you and stuff like that. So the director of this organization kind of seen me because they were out there. They have a camp out there every year for actually it's something you should look into for veterans that
Okay.
they do a veterans camp like that weekend, getting veterans to come in and injured you know veterans and first responders, people that that, and they put on a camp for them for the whole. And so they were happened to be out there doing this swim practice, and she saw me. Her name Carrie Sirota, and she came up to me and she's like, "Are you visually impaired?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Because I can tell the way like you're wait just you know." She's like, "We do this camp up in Wisconsin every year, and it's called Learn to Try. When we teach, basically help people that want to learn how to do triathlons and what they can do, what equipment they need to succeed and stuff like that." So I was
Hmm.
like, "Why not? Let's go check this thing out." And it was up in Wisconsin. Went to this camp, and I was like, I felt so out of place because here I am, a 50-year-old guy at a camp, and I heard nothing but teenage and young adults.
No.
I was a grandpa, but I tell you what, that camp didn't make me feel out of place. I had fun. I met some amazing people. I learned a lot of things. How like uh, I know one thing was like when I was swimming in open, they were working with me swimming in open water. I went and put my face in the water because I'm like, I need to see where I'm going. They're like, that's what your person that's swimming with you. That's their job. You just swim. They're your eyes in the water. You swim, and they'll swim. I'm like, oh, so I learned that they're tethered together with me, so they're swimming the straight line to where we got to go. If I swim off to the right, I can feel the tether. I know I got to swim back in, or if I start bumping them, I need to, they're the one they're the one that swims the straight line. I just go, So it was a lot. I took a lot in, and then that was in 2022, and
Okay.
then the following year I you know went and complete. They went to a race, a triathlon in Chicago. They invited me to, and completed my first triathlon. It might have took a while,
Outstanding.
but
But you completed it.
I did it there, and then I'm like, okay, you know, kind of got addicted to it. I mean, that crossing that finish line, realizing, okay, I can, do this, I mean, so I started putting in some work, and the Dare to Try team came back to me and said, hey, we have this elite and development team. We'd like to invite you to be part of our team, which is kind of cool because they give resources, they find you people to sponsor you for races, help, with the cost of, traveling, because with me, I have a tandem bike, whatever, and trying to travel and through an airport with it, they want the extra large bag size, and that's like $200 a pop, so
Ugh.
let alone with your plane ticket, so I became a part of their development team, did some races with them and stuff like, I went, I was traveled to like St. Louis, and went to their camp out and actually went to their camp out in San Diego at the Olympic Center. That was kind of cool, training
Okay.
with the Olympics people train for their triathlons, stuff like that. I
Right.
talk about staying in a high class facility.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
24-hour service of kitchen and anything else you wanted, so that was a good experience, uh, did a couple of races. I got to get better. That's where I kind of got into. They were talking about nationals. Hey, if are you serious? You've been improving. We got every year U.S. Triathlon puts on a para nationals. You have, but the person that Amanda, but they said you have to have the same gender. So I had to think like, okay, who's gonna be stupid enough to do this with me?
Hmm.
But at the same time, I also have to find somebody that's you know not at my level, but better than my level, because they have to be able to, they can't slow me down. They have to be able to be better than me. So, they,
Right.
keep up with me, So, uh, I put out got part of a couple of Facebook groups for para athletes and stuff like that. And, that's where I met named Stephen Barrett. He's from Kansas City. We talked on the phone. We talked on the phone. He drove up to Hammond, met me the Friday night before Leon's. We did no pun intended, but a crash course of how to, swim and bike with me. Running's the easy part. You know,
Yeah.
I still had enough vision to be able to, so, and we we went and did our first race. Come out of you know, came out of the swim. We get on the bike and turned the first corner off the bike from Calumet, or was it Calumet? No, I can't remember. What road is any Calumet on Wolf Lake's on Calumet, right? Yeah. So we're going to turn
Oh,
left
yeah. I
on,
think so.
yeah, turn left, turn right onto Sheffield, and there's a cop car right there. And my guide, first time on a tandem bike in a race, he screams out, "Oh, fudge!" And he had to do everything his best power to avoid hitting that cop car. And
Hmm.
the reason why that cop car was there because somebody was trying to leave the parking lot while the race was going on. He's like, no, you can't leave. You're stuck here for the next 2 hours, whether you like it or not.
You'll be here for a hot minute.
So, but yeah, so we did that, and after that we went up to another camp together to train together, and lo and behold, we got a qualifying time for nationals, and we got to go to Milwaukee this last summer to compete with the big boys, the Paranationals. But weather came through and rain. They got seven
Oh,
and a half 7.5 inches of rain overnight in Milwaukee. And
Oh wow.
I don't know if you ever been to Milwaukee, but they have this river that kind of like Chicago River that goes through the city, but
Right.
it was just overflowing, flooded the city. I mean,
Ooh.
it was so obviously they had to cancel the race. No, I mean a lot of people were upset about it, but so that's my quick summary of my para-athlete triathlon journey. So kind of you know
Now, when you first got introduced to this, to what you have, versus to where you are now, percentage wise, is there a way you could calibrate that, or
uh, they when I first got diagnosed and they do this field vision test. I don't know how often I call it the Death Star of vision because it's like it's a big white circular thing you have to like look into, and these lights come
Mhm.
on, and you have to kind of push the button, whatever. Well, for me, sitting in there, like I feel like I'm stupid because I'm not seeing anything because of my field of vision. So from the first time I did that test to the last time I did it last summer, I went from having 27% degree of vision. I'm less than 10% now. So
Oh,
it's yeah, it's gone down. I mean, I'm getting around, but it's kind of creeping up on me. I mean,
yeah.
well, the thing is, I mean, I'm legally blind. Will I go completely blind where I can't see anything? Things are just going to keep shrinking. Um, the thing about what the amazing thing about your brain is like when I'm in an area where people like when they see me, they're like, "You don't feel like you're blind." I go, "Well, the amazing thing about the brain when you're in an area that you're familiar with, it kind of remembers things like where things are at for you. So when you're walking, like in my household, I know, okay, there's a couch here. I can, it just, I can still kind of visualize it in my brain, even though I can't see that it's
Mhm.
there. Like my like I have to go to Aurora twice a week. I have to take the train in Chicago, jump on another train from Union Station to Aurora. My fiance was quite worried about me. It's like walking through Chicago. The first couple of times going from uh which Millennium or not Millennium Station, Van Buren Station to the Union Station, it was kind
Okay.
of a it was kind of a struggle because I didn't know it was unfamiliar for me. I had my white cane with me just to kind of but now I walk through those streets like it's nothing now because I know okay there's pillars here that are protecting the building. I know which lights are one way, which like I know what to look for the street light crossings. It's like it just didn't you the amazing
So
thing about
your
the
other
brain.
senses help pick up and uh help overpower your vision one,
Yeah,
so it's able to help you more.
exactly. So,
Okay.
so
Um,
that's
so you said you were with the group that they were originally out of San Diego?
with no, the Dare Track team. They went to San Diego as a training camp for a
Okay. Are
weekend.
you still with
So,
them?
I stepped away from them this year
Okay.
because there was like focus like with me going to Aurora twice a week. It was catching up with me a lot too much on my plate. Now with with the girlfriend fiance now, and
Mhm.
so a potential move coming up in September down to Muncie. So it was just, I couldn't commit myself 100%. Like, I felt like somebody, else deserved that spot that could commit to it where
That
I could,
be more committed because you're more doing other things and stuff like that. Because I know
So,
you do globetrot quite a bit. You are traveling. I know when I talked to you last time, we were supposed to do this earlier, but Mother Nature intervened. Mother Nature said, "No, save it for another day, my guy. You're gonna do this another day."
oh yeah, yeah. I was just in Maryland for my niece's wedding
Oh,
out
okay.
in on the
Very
Chesapeake
nice.
Bay, the Chesapeake Bay area. Oh, that's beautiful out there. Like, so, but
So when you're doing your runnings these days, are there any group sponsoring you? Or are you with anybody else? Or are you just now just you and your fiance? I take it your fiance is now guiding you these days for those races?
uh, she she's opposite of me. Where I'm a very avid runner, love running. Biking is solid, and then swimming. If I had my life depended on it, I probably would die swimming. But she grew up. swimming all her life. She's been, swam in college and stuff like that. So she's good at aspect of she's been helping me learn my better get my swim stroke better and improve. So she does a lot of she'll swim with me a lot in the in the open water, help
Hmm.
me out. So speaking on that, we are doing her and I where I was invited and I asked her to be my guide to Usher Syndrome Society is doing a awareness uh, campaign, and they're doing a swim from Alcatraz in October.
Okay.
So there's ten people that have Usher syndrome, and their guide swimmers are gonna, obviously get on a boat and go out to Alcatraz and swim back to shore. So there's a local swim club, San Francisco Swim Club or something like that, that's going to be supporting, and each one of us will have our own kayak. So that I mean
Oh,
they
very nice.
so it's a non my fiance's like, I don't know about this. I go, it's non-competitive. We can take our time. We can hold on to the kayak if we have to. Like we're not going to get disqualified or anything. So that's our thing right now. So you're probably going to see a few things on Facebook coming up as try to make fundraisers for this
Oh,
event.
definitely look for them.
So
We
I know.
I do have to
But
ask one thing. When you're doing races like this and considering your condition and what do you do that for, or even like after or whatever the thought, when you're running it or whatnot, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're inspiring others who may be in your shoes similar to pass the message like going, hey, if I can do this, you can do this. Come on, get out here. Don't let something hold you down.
oh yeah, I mean, people always when I'm running or whatever, and they were like, "Oh, you're so inspiring." I say, "Hey, you're out here too, so you're an inspiration for yourself and for anyone that's close to you, friends, So everybody has their own, even able bodies. I sit there, tell them, say, hey, you're inspiring somebody in your network, your friend, somebody that knows. You might get one person that you knew and say, hey, I'm gonna start doing this because he's doing it, So um, one of my big things is like I didn't have it growing up with a support group of other ushers, people with ushers. So now with the social media and stuff like that, so there's like Facebook groups of families with ushers, and and a lot of times when they can do tests now right off the back, if like if a child was born and they notice it's hearing loss right
Mhm.
away, they can do a genetic testing right then to see if they have Usher syndrome, So then they kind of tell their parents, oh, they came back as, having the symptoms for Usher syndrome. And the parents are devastated because they read it, it's like hearing and vision loss. So they're like instantly thinking that their child is going to be blind. And I try to sit there and say, hey, look at me. I'm 55 years old. I lived a full life. I had two kids. And like it didn't stop me. So you just, don't. My parents let me. I mean, I had the hearing loss. That's all they thought, but they let me live, a normal childhood life. So I could
Yep.
like I try to tell them, I said your child is gonna be, fine. You just can't, what's the terminology? Umbrella them, create like a helicopter. That's what it's like. Don't helicopter them. Let them enjoy their life. If there's something that they can't do because of their disability, find a way. Don't prevent them from doing it because they can't do it. Find a way for them to be able to do it. Don't discourage
Exactly.
them. So
Hey, real quick, if people want to follow you, where can they find you on your social media?
I knew you were gonna ask that. I don't have.
If
Give
he
me.
cannot answer that question, folks, it's okay because I'm going to have it in the description up above or the comments below, depending on where you are watching this, because I know him.
It's. I don't know the exact, but on Instagram it's para-athlete Billiam, but I'm not sure how the technique. But it's para. If I'm sure they type in para-athlete Billiam, Billiam, I'm sure it'll show up. So
We'll get those
I will
links
be.
figured out.
Obviously Facebook was under my normal name. I don't do the TikTok. That's for the youngsters.
Yeah, do this dance.
So yeah. maybe I'll do a little cinnamon video to get people.
I have that video somewhere. Just know that.
Oh, every time it comes up, Tracy is always one to comment.
I know, right?
Gotta love Tracy.
Bill, it's been great sitting down with you.
I
Thank you very
appreciate.
much for sharing your story, just to inspire others and educating them on what Usher syndrome is, and just proving that just because you have the disability, don't let it hinder your life. Continue on and be like Bill. He's going out there and he is making the difference, not just for himself, but for others to show that I can do it. We all can do this. Let's do this.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
I want to keep you a few minutes longer, but I'm going to go ahead and cut off here because now I'm going to go ahead and switch to my studio, aka my garage, because I'm poor. Or the Warrior Healing Center, depends where I'm feeling to go. But I still got a few words, talk about a couple new episodes coming up. I will see you all in a few minutes. Bill, stay online for a moment.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. What a great interview with Mr. Laramie. He has been doing amazing things ever since he discovered he had Usher syndrome, but it has not stopped him in the slightest. He has been inspiring each and every day, and I urge you to reach out, have a conversation with him. Always fun to talk to, always great to hang out with. Lots of great memories. Longtime friend, call him brother. We're close, tight knit group. That's how we are in the region. Oh, yes. Oh, it's true. But definitely go check it out. Also, check out the link to learn out more about Usher syndrome. That's going to be, again, in the description up above or the comments down below, depending on where you're watching this video. Now, coming up next, I got some more, always got some more coming down the pipe, so stay tuned. I've got some more vendors. I've got some more special interest. Lots of good things coming, so definitely pay attention. And I'm gonna be on location pretty soon, so can't wait to show you where my travels take me. And it's all for you, because that's what we do. Talk about veteran-owned business, talk about Gen X getting down and grimy, doing the best for people, because that's who we are, that's what we do, especially when that Gen X takes me back to my neck of the woods, the region, the 219, Northwest Indiana. That's what we do. Everybody, thank you again for tuning in. I always look forward to bringing these interviews to you. Subscribe to the channel, watch some of the previous episodes, and hey, if you're an up-and-comer looking to start a business, I got a lot of them on there. Check them out. That template is ready for you to learn and for you to get your business off the ground. Gen X Grit, veteran-owned business built different podcast. I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.